Welcome everybody to Speaking of Zane. We are on the 278th edition episode of Speaking of Zane. Let me change my glasses here. April 28th, 2024 edition. Good to have everybody in there tonight. We're, let's see, whoops, let me change the, there we go, take that out of there. Okay, well, let's see. First, let's take a quick look in the chat and see who we've got with us. Daryl is in there. Hey, Daryl, how you doing? Lori is in there, acknowledging Tyler and Zane. Ken is in there. Steve Shirley's in there. Hey, Steve-O, good to have you back. I know you missed a couple of weeks here and there due to some travel and whatnot. Colin Krim is in there from Albuquerque. And we'll get some others along the way, but it's good to have you all in there for another edition of Speak to Zane. Let's see what we've got to talk about tonight. We always talk about Zane. The whole purpose of this endeavor is to keep his memory alive by speaking his name. He was only 26 years old. He was only 26 years on this earth, and that's a blink of an eye. And it would be real easy to be forgotten. And we didn't want that to happen. So at least every Sunday night, we say his name, talk about him. In this public forum, I'll tell you, Lori and I, there's not a minute of a day that goes by that we're not thinking about him. It's hard. It's hard to explain unless you've lost someone, especially a child. It's probably hard to grasp the concept and this ever present feeling that you have. And it's a weird sort of thing. But anyway, let's see. Cousin Toby's in there. Hey, Toby. Speaking of Toby, the Braves are doing pretty good right now. Braves are 19-7, I think. They had another walk-off today and beat the best team in the American League, the Cleveland, should I say it, Indians? Tom Glavine said Indians several times over the last 3 days, and but it's the Cleveland Guardians. But I don't know. We kind of still know them as the Indians. But anyway, Braves doing good. Got some good baseball. Got some good baseball in over the weekend. I always enjoy the weekend. I mean, I have the Braves game on in the background every evening. I don't always pay as close attention, but on the weekend, I'm able to sit and watch. And I'm a balls and strike guy. I'll watch every play of the game. Anyway, it was a good game this afternoon. Walk off. Went to extra innings last night and did not win. But anyway, Braves are doing good. I enjoyed baseball. How about that? Well, let's see. Speaking of baseball, Steve's in here. Steve and Jimbo and Amy. Speaking of baseball, the Storm Chasers, Omaha Storm Chasers, they've had to cancel each of their last 3 games, Friday, Saturday, and then I saw they canceled their game again today. And I know you guys have had weather that has precluded the Storm Chasers from having their ball games. And you guys had some absolutely disastrous weather on Friday. I was toward the end of the day. It was like for Omaha, it was like 4 o'clock, and I was getting ready for my walk, and I saw a news flash come across or something, and so I went on my walk, but I turned my I listened to music or podcast or whatever, but I turned it to one of the Omaha news stations. I don't remember which one, but and they were covering the storms live. So on the hour that I was walking, I was hearing the updates. There was like 4 or 5 tornado warnings all at one time in the Omaha metro. And then, of course, the most devastating was in Elkhorn, I saw. And Lori and I were just in Elkhorn. We were at 180th and Dodge. I don't know exactly where that tornado touched down, but I saw some of the drone footage today. Just entire neighborhoods. Just a terrible. Now, I have not heard, any of you Omahans can correct me, I have not heard that there were any fatalities at all, but I know there was some pretty serious devastation there in Elkhorn, and I know that several tornadoes did touch down across the metro, including one out at the airport. There was some footage from someone inside an aircraft at the gate filming a tornado at Epley, and one was confirmed to have touched down there. But anyway, I'm glad all of my Omaha friends are okay, and hopefully nobody's homes were affected. Nobody that I know. I know that there were a lot of homes affected. It's just devastation, but crazy. Okay, glad you all are okay. Hey, Barb's in there. I love her. Sister of Amy. Well, let's see. Had some birthdays this past week. John Madalla, who's a family friend of ours, actually turned 61. Same age as me. He's just like a month behind me. So happy birthday, John. And then our very own Katie Aaron. If you're in there tonight, Katie, happy birthday to you. I see that Matt is in there. So happy birthday, Katie. I hope you had a good one, and Matt and the girls treated you well today. Okay, let's see. I mentioned baseball. Did a little baseball watching this weekend. Oh, Katie is in there. Hey, Katie. And got some good walks in. The weather is absolutely beautiful here right now. We're in the 70s, 72 right now. I have had to turn the AC on a couple of times. In fact, I had the AC on one day and had to turn the heater on the next day. That's how things have swung here in the Atlanta metro. I'm happy to say that both air conditioning units are operating flawlessly. We live in a house that's about 20 years old now, and it has the 2 original HVAC systems. And last summer, I did have to do a little work on one of them. I replaced the capacitor, and what's the other doohickey, Dad? There's another. There's 2 really simple replaceable items: the capacitor, and there's a switch, a relay, and I replaced those on one of the units and last summer. But I've cranked them both up this year. They both operating great. Hey, when you own houses, you got to figure that stuff out yourself. And Lori and I, where I bought our first house in Plattsmouth, Nebraska, in what was it, Lori? 1988. We got back from England. We bought this house in Plattsmouth, and it was built in the 40s. It's a literal brick house, and I had to learn plumbing and heating and cooling and electrical and window replacement and roofing and all of that stuff. So I was 20, 25, 26 years old. But anyway, and fortunately, we had this old hardware store down on Main Street in Plattsmouth where I got all my hardware, and I learned how to sweat pipes and copper pipes and all this stuff, fencing and you name it. So there's not much I can't do, and I attribute a lot of that to my dad, just by watching him, and he can do anything. But yeah, Katie says they're learning all that stuff too. Well, this house is considerably newer, 20 years old, 15 when we moved in, I guess, and really nice house. But when something gets to 20 years old, with like an HVAC system with this continual cycling on and off, cycling on and off, you're bound to have issues there. But anyway, better knock on wood. All the systems in the house are okay in the moment. But anyway, Lori will tell you that we have always had issues with plumbing, always had issues with water, and water is dangerous. But anyway, we're in good shape right now. Knock on wood. Let's see, what else we got here? We had a little sleepover from our grandson Everett, who's 7. I went and picked him up at his house. His mama needed some help. I had to help her place this area rug underneath some of the furniture at her place, and so I went over there, did that, and then got Everett and stopped by Zaxby's on the way home, got him a kid's grilled cheese meal, and came home. And he spent the whole time with his Grammy. He doesn't hang out with me that much, but he spent the whole time with his Grammy. But his mom came and got him today. But yeah, he's a good boy. Got a little bit of work done outside the house today. I made a quick Lowe's run. And some of the columns out front on the porch, we have a porch with rockers on it. And it's 20 years old, so some of the paint and different things started to weather a little bit. So I did a little scraping, did a little wood filler, and did a little painting today. So it's looking really good. So you can see what I do to relax from work. I have this job every day that I'm working. A lot of you all are retired now. I'm not retired. I'm still cranking it out. But when Friday night comes, I like to disconnect from that and do some things around the house. All right, well, let's see. I did watch the Braves, like I mentioned. What else? I'm home. I was home all week. You guys know I travel a bit. I'll be home all this coming week, but then the travel starts back up. Next week, I'm going to New Orleans, Nolans. I'm going to be there from the 6th through the 10th in New Orleans for work, and then coming home for a couple of days. I think Lori and I are going to go down to my dad's. It'll be the first anniversary of my mom's passing on May the 10th. So I think we're going to go down on the 10th or the 11th. And then on the 13th, I am headed to Tokyo, believe it or not. I'm heading to Tokyo. So from the 13th to the 20th, I'll be in Japan. Not for work, but our daughter Charlotte's going over for work, and she invited me to come over and piggyback on that trip. So we're going to go do a little exploring there. And then as soon as I get back on the 21st, I think, or the 20th. And I got to go to St. Louis that week. It's 22nd. I need to be there on the 22nd. So I think I'm going to go on the afternoon of the 21st. But I need to be there for a few days, 22nd, 3rd, 4th, I believe, that week before Memorial Day. And of course, then we have Memorial Day off, and then I'll be home that Memorial Day week. And then I have a new trip that just came up on June the 3rd through the 6th. I'm going to Las Vegas, not for fun, for work, conference. And so I'll be there for a conference called Cisco Live. I've probably been to 20 of them in my career, but I'm going back. Actually, Cisco invited me. You guys hear me talk all the time about how I'm the Veterans Employee Resource Group lead for the company. And my counterpart at Cisco reached out and said, "Hey, we want to do some things with you guys. Can you come to Cisco Live?" And so I'm going to Cisco Live, and we're going to do some veteran things between the two of our companies. And they want me on a podcast, and got a lot of things planned. 2 powerhouse tech companies, and we each have a lot of veterans that work for our company, and we have a very purposeful approach about looking after each other and helping veterans and mentoring and all of that. So it'll be fun. I'll let you guys know all about it once I get back from there. And then we've been trying to land on a date to honor our son Tyler. It's been quite difficult, honestly. Tyler passed away back in September, and he's on our kitchen table, and we just don't feel like we've sent him off. You've heard me talk about this over and over again, but we keep looking for what's the best date. Thank goodness Lori thinks about all this stuff, and she has arrived at the conclusion that because of travel with family and different things, that we're probably just going to look at September 7th, and that'll be a Saturday, and that'll mark the 1 year anniversary of his passing. Anyway, that's what we're looking at there. I don't see much reason why we would change that. That's far enough out for folks. It's a 1 year anniversary. I feel good that we've arrived at something that's probably going to work, but that's the name of that tune. All right, hat of the week. You guys know I'm a hat guy. I don't know how many hats I've got or have had over the years. I do have in my office here, I've got an adjacent room through some glass doors that's sort of my relaxed television room. Carson calls it my living room, my little granddaughter. Anyway, I probably have 120 ball caps hanging in there, and I'm just a ball cap guy. Had many, many more over the years, but anyway, hat of the week. Daryl got it. Storm Chasers. I wore this one last week because Lori and I were in Omaha. We went to a Storm Chasers game, and it seemed fitting to wear this hat again on the heels of that day of storms that you guys suffered through on Friday. So that is the Speaking of Zane hat of the week. Okay, well, let's see. Let's move along here to this week in military history. I had a couple of items, and actually, one of these items I should have called out last week, and it totally escaped me. And that was April the 14th and 15th, 1986. April 14th, 1986. Lori and I were stationed at Mildenhall 2 years into our marriage. Operation El Dorado Canyon, where we struck Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. And all the tankers launched out of Mildenhall. I remember our squadron outfitted a lot of the tankers with some secure radio gear, this, that, and the other. And then Lori and I were big into volleyball in our squadron volleyball team, and we were at the gym. I remember on the night of the launch, we were at the gym at Mildenhall and had a volleyball game. Came out of the volleyball game, and we saw all the tankers launching one after the other. And of course, right next door at RAF Lakenheath is where most of the F-111s came from. They were out of Lakenheath and Upper Hayford. And unfortunately, let's see if I can find, no, I wouldn't find it there. Anyway, unfortunately, we did lose a crew, an F-111 crew, unfortunately, up here, because they deserve to be remembered. They flew all the way from Lakenheath to Libya and all the way back. Well, they didn't make it all the way back, but the rest of the crews flew all the way back. And the reason that they had to do that is because France wouldn't let us overfly. How about that for some friends? Yeah, It's kind of crazy. France would not let us fly over their airspace to go send a message to a bad guy. Let me share. If I can find it. Here we go. This should show, I think, yeah. You should see there the flight path, and then in memory of Major Fernando Dominici and Captain Paul Lawrence from call sign Karma 52. So that was on April the 14th, 15th. And let's see what else. Here's another one coming up, or no, actually this past week, April 24th, 25th. Now, Steve Shirley was active during this time. I was not yet, because it was April 24th, 25th, 1980. Operation Eagle Claw. You guys remember that was the failed rescue attempt of the Iran hostages, and we lost C-130 helicopter. I didn't pull up a list of those that we lost, but that was the anniversary of Operation Eagle Claw. All right, well, let's see. Matt Aaron says, 16. Oh, wow, Matt. Matt's 16th anniversary this week of Matt going to basic training. Matt, where did you go to basic training? I know the Army has quite a few places that you can go. Barb says she went TDY to Oman the day after that. Barb's retired from the Army. And let's see, Matt was thanked at dinner today. How about that? I was thanked a couple of times this week, quite unexpectedly, but ended up having a couple of engaging conversations. Desert One. Yep, that's right, Steve. That's right, Steve. Oh, that's right. You were infantry. I'm sorry, Matt. You'll have to excuse the Air Force guy. I know all the infantry guys go to the one station unit training, I believe, at Fort Benning. Well, congratulations, Matt. You've got just a few more years to retirement there. Wow, incredible. Thank you for continuing to serve. All right, those are the only this day military history items that I pulled. I know there were some others, and there's one I'm missing that I forgot to write down, and I just can't. It's just not coming back to me. But let's go to the Veteran Cemetery Challenge. I know we had some visits this week, as we often do. Daryl to Jefferson Barracks, my dad to Evergreen. My sister went to Evergreen today. They placed some really nice flowers there. My mom passed away May the 10th of last year, coming up on a year. So we're going to go down and see her. I know Lori's just putting in the chat there that Mother's Day is the 12th, which I guess would be the Sunday. Yeah, which would be the Sunday. Let's see. And then I'm going to count this one. My dad reported that my sister's daughter, his granddaughter, Addison, made a visit to a Civil War cemetery near Madison, Georgia. I don't know that I've been to that one, but it's got me intrigued. So I'm going to add that one to the list. And then Carl Kihas messaged me earlier today, and they went to the Bellevue Cemetery. I don't know when. I don't know if that was yesterday or today, but he let me know that. So if I add up those visits, I did make one today. I went yesterday. My daughter lives in Cartersville, and it's just another 10 miles from Cartersville to Canton. So I said, well, man, I'm already up here in Cartersville. Let me just run over and see Zane real quick. And so I drove over to Canton, where Georgia National Cemetery is. So I got a visit in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I count 9 visits for the week. And that takes our count up to 1,155 times that somebody from this relatively small group have paid a visit to those that we place in those hallowed grounds. So thank you guys for doing that. Started very innocently. Probably never would have started had Zane not passed. I don't know how many. I mean, I had been to Arlington, didn't think that much about it, but once we saw taps played for Zane, it changed everything. And yeah, I've often described Georgia National as my favorite place to visit and my least favorite place to visit, all in one. Try to reconcile that. Okay, well, how about the Thank a Vet Challenge or the Veteran Interaction segment, whatever you want to call it. We had quite a few this week, as we normally do. Jimbo had a couple of Air Force, active duty Air Force folks that he thanked this week. Thank you, Jim, for letting us know that. And let's see. Get my list right here. And I got you down for Navy Chief. So I add that to our total. And I had a vet at Lowe's. I had a chat with. Actually, he was a worker there. And you know how you can tell if somebody that works at Lowe's is a veteran? Because they wear the camouflage vest. They don't wear the normal red one. They wear a camouflage vest. So anyway, had a chat with this young man this afternoon. And then at work this week, I mentioned going to Las Vegas at the request of my friends at Cisco. And I've met Omar, as an Army vet, Scott, Air Force vet, and Justin, who's an Army vet. I met them this week. And listen to this. We've been in this house for 5 years now. 5 years next month or the next month. And we have neighbors, Mike and April. They've been in the house next to us the whole time. They're the ones that had the house burned. And about 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, 2 years ago, their house got struck by lightning, burned, got rebuilt. They've been back in it now for a little bit. Anyway, Mike, I was sitting out on the front porch. I guess it was Friday night. Mike came over and sat in the other rocker, and we had a beverage. And I learned that he served in the Army. I never knew. 5 years. And yeah, he was in the Army Reserves and went to basic training at Fort Jackson and was a transportation guy. He loaded up all kind of Army vehicles on trains and planes and automobiles and all that stuff. But anyway, had a good chat with him. So his name is Mike. And anyway, so that was good. So for me, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Jimbo and Ken, that's 8. So we had 2,723 veteran interactions since we first started doing that. One of my favorite things to do during the week is chat with veterans that I encounter along the way, either at work or out doing commerce. Let's see what Barb has to say. I saw that, Barb. You guys went to the game. I saw. I don't know if it was a post from you or Amy, but I saw you guys were in Lincoln. So that's awesome. Okay, fantastic. packed with vets at the stadium there. That's outstanding. And I hear that Nebraska won. I think that's true. So good stuff there, Barb. Awesome. Okay, well, let's see. What do we got going on here in organizations we're connected to, affiliated with, aware of, contribute to a variety of organizations, as do all of you. And we try to track anything that's going on with any of those. If you guys have any organizations that you're affiliated with, connected with, contribute to, and you want to shout out anything coming up, let me know that in chat and we'll do that. But I keep a running list of those that we're affiliated with or aware of, and try to highlight anything during the week that I've learned about them, anything upcoming, anything they've announced. Saw a fantastic post today for my Warriors place. The volunteer organizations continue to help Kelly. There was a group out there that did so much beautification and planting and all. The place looks gorgeous. I just can't wait to get back down there. And but last week there was another group of folks out there doing some beautification and all kind of things. Just and it's just a serene place. It's a place. It's a place to escape. Lori and I have spent a lot of time there, resting there, working there, and it's just a special place. And so it's great to see people continuing to contribute. Yeah, that cabbage was total. That cabin was totally redone from the ground floor, from the floorboards all the way up, because remember there was a flood, but hurricane. But yeah, so that they managed to salvage that cabin that we like to stay in. But anyway, my next interaction with my Warriors place is to do some work at the new location, and we're trying to. I've got a guy down there, Nathan, who's working on this for me, getting some heavy equipment. We're going to be doing some things at the new location. Anyway, stay tuned for that. I had hoped we would already have done that until it gets too hot. So, but we're probably going to be in the middle, right smack in the middle of the heat, by the time we get down there to do the things that we need to do at the new location. But that's okay. It'll be worth it. Let's see what else. Simplified Bar and Grill. They have a new food truck. I mentioned that last week. They're in a new location. Lori and I haven't been yet. Lori's been, I think. I haven't been yet to the new location. They're having a veterans block party on May the 18th. Am I going to be here? I won't even be here. I won't be here. Maybe Lori can take Hannah over there or something. And then what else is going on? Carry the Load. So I need to look and see the route through Georgia this year. But Carry the Load, that's a group that we've hooked up with the last several years. And they have 5 different routes that they start, and they all end up in Dallas, and then they celebrate Memorial Day. But anyway, Carry the Load. Go look it up. Carry the Load, and you can see if their path takes it anywhere near you. But they do come through North Georgia. And I've been able to tag along and walk through the cemetery with them and stuff like that. But Carry the Load, an interesting group. Okay, I think that is it for this week. Sure, it's good to have you guys. I tell you what, I can't tell you how comforting it is to have people that will show up on a Sunday night and listen to me talk about Zane and other stuff, because it helps. I don't know. There's something about it. I know collectively we do good things, telling people thank you and visiting cemeteries and being involved in these groups and stuff. But personally, for me, to know that there's somebody out there that's interested in listening to what we have to talk about as it relates to Zane, Tyler, veterans, service members, first responders, it's just a good feeling. And you can tell I'm never at a loss for words. So I would go on and on if you let me, but you're not going to let me because it's 9:07. We're finishing early tonight because that's all I have to report. But it absolutely is, Barb. Group therapy. It's like sitting on the porch with a beverage. It is. It is. So thank you for that, being alongside me and providing that therapy, all of you. And we'll look forward to seeing you next Sunday night. So what did I say? I will be here. Yeah, we'll have a normal Sunday night because I go to New Orleans on Monday afternoon, I believe it is. So um, we will look forward to seeing everybody again on Sunday night. Have a great week. Make it count. If you see a veteran or a first responder or a service member, geez, strike up a conversation, find out what the heck, and then let us know about it. And we'll talk about it next Sunday night on Speaking of Zane. Take care, everybody.